And in other news, it's Wednesday, and that's time for your Crime Stoppers report. Judy Fricks is off island, so here's News Channel 8's Wes Small with your Crime Stoppers report and another report as well.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. It is time to do Crime Stoppers. Our Crime Stopper reporter, Judy Fricks, she got stuck stateside, and so we'll pinch hit for her. So it's just a brief look at the Crime Stopper report, but I do have something to report to you that happened overnight on St. Croix. At around 5 in the morning in the area of Sunny Acres, a vehicle was stolen, and it looks like it was stolen by minors. We have a 15-year-old minor who ended up in La Grande Princess, or the Princess area, with a broken leg after he crashed that vehicle. We do understand that another suspect was possibly in the car. I just got off the phone with Deputy Police Chief Hal and Melody Rames, and they are looking into that situation as well as we speak. Remember that we've had several minors over the last month or two that have been running away from home or missing from YRC or youth behavioral services. We want to remind you at this time of the year for Carnival and such, when a lot of children are not being looked after and they're away from school and so forth and being left on the honor system, I got to tell you that the teenagers, especially the young adults, they need to be watched. So with that, be very careful of our children out there. Now, as far as Crime Stoppers is concerned, I want you to keep those tips coming in. We can tell you that there's been a lot of illegal weapons on the island of St. Croix. A lot of shots have been fired, a lot of disturbances. Unfortunately, we all saw the horror over the last few days, the triple homicide that happened in Peter's Rest. Folks, if you know, people have been firing shots, which it looks like that this suspect, Miles David, had been doing previously. You need to call 911. Even if people are just firing shots in the air, 9 times out of 10, these weapons are illegal. And look what happened to that situation of the triple homicide. Deadly weapons should be left in the hands of law enforcement officers, and only those who are authorized and legalized to carry or have their weapons. So please, if you know about illegal weapons in our territory, especially on St. Croix, then you need to call 1-800-222-TIPS. As far as St. Thomas is concerned, it's carnival season, baby. And we all heard our report from Lee Carl earlier in the week on how to stay safe this carnival season. I believe that Deputy Chief Carrard and the officials over there, including Novell Francis, our police commissioner, is telling you to have a nice, safe carnival season. Just adhere to the rules and the curfews, especially the young adults, and watch out for each other. If you see someone with a weapon or people starting an argument or something like that, try to get some help. Try to get the police to defuse that situation. Rain don't stop the carnival, but violence will. As far as St. John is concerned, we're still looking pretty good on St. John, but there are a lot of burglaries on St. John, including electronic material like laptops and iPods and cell phones and such. So be careful on Cruz Bay and St. John. With that, that is an unofficial and a brief look at your Crime Stopper report. We hope that Judy Fricks makes it back from stateside, so she'll be here next Wednesday. I'm at the transition area. With that, that's a look at your Crime Stopper report. Please don't drink and drive. Watch all the bikers out there. They're practicing, okay? I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes Small. And earlier today on St. Thomas, court was in session over a horse. News Channel 8's Lee Carl reports.
Decision still hasn't been made, but prior to that, I talked to Loretz David. He is from the Horse Owners Association, and what he's done is resign. So I asked him to tell us about the story here and what's going on in court.
Well, Lee, I resigned because, to me, there's a few set of people, just one little group that is controlling horse racing, and there's not enough respect given to the horse owners themselves. And without horse owners, you just don't have horse racing. I can remember when I first took over, nobody wanted anything to do with it, and the racetrack was known as suffering down. Everybody declined to try to help, and I was put in that position by the horse owners to ask them to help to turn things around. I stayed there, and now that things are fine, there's a few sets of people that want to control it, and there's no respect for the horse owners. No respect, absolutely, for horse owners' rights.
So you resigned, right?
Yes, I resigned, and when I resigned, to my amazement, my officers and board members are very informed of everything that goes on as members of the Horse Owners Association. I resigned, and within a week, the whole board resigned behind me. To my amazement, I guess they didn't like what was taking place, just like I didn't like what was taking place.
Let me just break off here a second now. While we're standing here, there's a court case upstairs.
Yes.
What's that all about?
This court case is a horse owner brought a horse away, and he felt that his horse was qualified for the horse racing, the Governor's Cup. As you just heard in the court, Lee, you were just there as well as myself, under questioning by the defendants against the racing secretary. He asked the racing secretary specifically why this was a horse wasn't in the race, and the racing secretary said because there's 6 gates and there's 7 horses that qualify. The problem to me, even though the case is still going on and they haven't made an outcome, to me, you have a criteria that sets up that makes horses eligible for the race, and you only have a 6-horse gate. Supposing you have 8, 9, 10 horses that qualify under those criteria, how do you determine which of those 7, 8, 9, 10 horses gets into the race? Because the criteria for the race that was set by the Horse Racing Commission only specifies certain criteria to get the horses to the race, but it doesn't specify if you have more than enough horses for the gate, what qualifies and determines the 6 for the gate.
Now this horse is a Tortola horse?
He is actually stationed on St. Croix, so he's being represented as a St. Croix horse as far as I know.
I see. And so he's in court and he's asking for a TRO to stop the races,
To stop the races.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think so either, but I think it'll set up a precedent from now on. The Racing Commission, as well as the Racing Secretary, will have to make sure that certain things are in specific order, that it never comes to this again. I think the problem is that there's not enough definition toward the criteria for the races. I think that's the major problem that the Racing Commission has not put in written concrete documentation.
Now there's another little conflicting area I've been hearing outside the courtroom about the fact that Housing, Parks, and Recreation is involved here. How?
Well, the problem with this is that they're trying to say that Housing and Parks is the temporary promoter of the races, and they're trying to say that they have people that are Housing Parks employees that are also Racing Commission members and that are also horse owners. So it's kind of like a conflict of interest situation, and that's what I told you. The horse owners are saying that there's a certain little crew that is running everything and not involving other people.
Okay, bottom line is, you believe the horse races will take place in...
Bottom line is, I think the Governor Cup, and I know the races will go on. I think the outcome of the court, even though it's not finished, will be that they're going to allow the races, but today will set the precedence and make it mandatory that the Horse Racing Commission sets in concrete stone and writing the right criteria.
St. Thomas, Lee Carl for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Lee Carl, our correspondent in St. Thomas. When we come back from this break, we'll take a look at what's happening down island in your Caribbean Report.